4-year-old LG garbage. This is a different video this week. You got 3 videos out of me this week, so bear with me. I got to keep the hustle going. In this week's video, I'll take a look at my 2-post lift I've had for 5 years, and I'll talk about a 4-post lift I might be buying. Now, before I get back to that, I got a couple things to do, and I think you guys are going to like it as well. The truck's dead. I need to crank it up and let it warm up. I'm going to try out a little jump pack and see how that goes. Other thing, I'm going to go to the carport, and I've had some people ask about this. I want to close this in, and I also want to utilize it while it's open. We used to have an RV out here and used it like that back when I did the RV share days, but those days are gone. So next, I want to lift. I'd like a 4-post lift. I'd like a 4-post lift in there. They just seem safer to me. And my thought process is, I've been looking at some companies I like, and I've bought a Chinese lift back in there, and I've learned from that, and I'm going to go with an American lift this time. Now, I know not everything's 100% American, but I would like to go with something I've seen that looks like quality. So I'm thinking I'm going to get some tape. We're going to come out here and lay off some dimensions, some of these lifts that are online, and specifically I have my eyes on a 4-post that is movable, so it doesn't have to fasten down to the ground. So I want to get in here and lay that down, see how I like it, and go from there. Because this is going to get a door on the back and the front one day, and this is an awesome clean side of the shop. I can paint in it, I can do some things, I could get some nice ventilation ran, and use this as a nice shop. I love my shop in here, but I need a separate space to work on bigger projects that are in and out quickly. For example, this truck, I have some more suspension work I need to do, and getting this thing in the air is a bear. So safety's paramount when it comes to a lift, and I have learned my lessons because I have I've learned the nooks and crannies over 5 years on a 2-post from a cheaper company has really made me realize how important safety is. So let's lay that out. I got to blow it out, get the dust out. Got a Coke can on the floor, need to clean up, and go from there. We'll see how she looks, so bear with me. But first, let me get this truck cranked up. I got to throw a jump box on it. I'm going to try out a AVAPOW. I don't know what kind of name that is, but there it is. I actually have 2 of them. Just some details here. The one on the left is the jump pack. The one on the right, the smaller one, is a mobile air compressor, and it has fittings for like balls, stuff like that, which is great when you have a child or you go to the park and you need something like that. The other note, this charger here, the jump pack, it charges stuff. I can use it for my camera equipment. I'm going to be taking it with me this weekend to some races to keep my GoPro charged. It's just a nice product. It has a handle. Better than that, it has a case. I have a name brand one that I bought a few years ago for well over $200, and that sucker didn't even come with a case. So give this company a shot. They seem to be working pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with them. In today's video, the truck runs like 70-80 psi, so I couldn't use the little compressor. It maxes out around like 50, give or take, but that's about it. It's going to go in my wife's car, and this jump pack's going to stay in the truck. This is a 6,000 amp peak current with a 12 volt voltage on it, and it has a 5 volt 2.4 amp output on one of the USBs, and then similar on the other. Pretty cool. So let's try this out. You know, you're gonna hear my dog whining. She don't like the cold. She's an inside dog. I don't like the cold either. It's chilly today. She wants to come out here and not go to the restroom, take forever, I can tell you that. For all the Canadian and Australian viewers I have, there's a couple of you, a few people from England as well. The temperature has went crazy here in Georgia in the United States of America. It got down to the 20s this past few days, and then it jumped up to the 70s, and it come back down to the 20s and 40s. And that's why this battery's all over the place. Abnormal indication of jumper clamp. Gives you a couple little things just in case you messed it up. Leads are kind of tight. Okay, she's on. Check this out. She's showing green. It's kind of nice. Let me show you. She let me know she's going there. All right, let's give her the beans. I spent like a good 20 minutes looking for my blower. Megan's been doing some organizing, cleaning. And no one asked me who that is. I don't know. It's Mercy's doll. Saving on some cardboard. Getting rid of that. Not the lawnmower. Dishwasher's gone. 4-year-old LG garbage. If anybody's wondering, bought it brand new. Keep it clean. Always rinse before we go in it. Trash. Can't get the part. Yeah. Can't have nothing nice. And scratching the truck. The lift I'm looking at, let's take a look here. Let's take a look, see. Now this, you guys can look this up as well. This is a Wildfire 9000 or Wildfire 9000 XLT. 9000 lift. It's an American company, all that good jazz. I like it. So I'm gonna get out here and start laying this tape down. We're gonna do, we'll just go a little large. We'll do the 121 by 203. 121 by 203. Let's see how that looks. This is a 30-foot space. And one reason I like the idea of this Wildfire lift is I can still park a trailer, a camper, a vehicle, anything in here without having to move the lift. Unlike my lift in the shop, which is a bit difficult to use. All right, we'll just try this out for size. I'm gonna grab a second measuring tape. Let's just do it like that. It'd be simple. Whoa, that Jeep looking good. Yes, it's an automatic for those that have asked. Who cares? It goes. Ah, somebody spilled some oil. Oh yeah. I got like 7 different measuring tapes. I got a Milwaukee, I got some Harts, I got some Pittsburgh. I got all that stuff. All right, I'm gonna measure from the furthest point back. Those lights are getting changed, by the way. We're gonna get some LED. This is gonna be my workspace for large projects. Oh yeah, we got just a hair over 12 feet. All right, location number 1. That's pretty good. You can get a vehicle up in the air. Plenty of room to work around it. This bay is actually 6 feet narrower than the bay next door. Now, the bay next door eventually is going to come this whole bay. So this is the tightest spot possible. I would imagine this is a traditional carport size for most people that don't have a shop. Could you put a lift in the carport? Absolutely. That's awesome. Now, could we bring it and center it? Sure, absolutely, no problem. What's the benefits to that? I'm not sure. But I think that no matter where you put it, if it's positioned in this section or in the center or the opposite, you can still lift it, get a vehicle completely under it. So I guess it depends. It's up to you. Pretty cool. I like it. Now let's see if you can see it from the road. That's one reason I like to push it back, because I don't have doors yet on that section. That wouldn't be bad. Now the benefit to a 4-post, they just look fantastic. In my opinion, they take up less room. Now let's see this side. This is an 18 by 30 shop. You can see I purposely offset this lift closer to the wall, and something I did when I was building it, I kicked it over to the left just for ease of use, and I'll explain that now. If you see, this left post is actually kicked over past this column. I did that on purpose, so whenever you look at this column, as you drive in, you can align your post with the column. So that way you can set your vehicle right there. Very, very, very simple. It makes sense to me. I use it, I love it. On other news, you want to piss off a painter, set that down sideways. So you can kind of see it's not the column that's lined up with the wall, it's the post mounts that's lined up with the wall, not the column. Did that on purpose. I love it. I also set this lift perfectly 50-50 in the shop. And I did that because I didn't know the variety of vehicles I would be using. And on a 2-post lift, they are never 50-50. Unless you got a load in the back of one. Traditionally speaking, it's probably a 60-40, give or take. There's a few vehicles you'll run across that are 75-20 or like a 55-45. So just keep that in mind if you're trying to plan for a lift. And I have to say, with this 2-post, this is not one that's offset and the arms are different length. I believe this is an asymmetrical lift. And that means my arms are the same length. They kick out the same dimensions. So, yeah, they mirror each other is what I'm trying to say. One side of the column to the other. And it works out fine. It has its pros and cons. But would I buy this lift again? This Chinese tuxedo lift? I would if you didn't care about your safety. I mean that wholeheartedly. Guys, I'm not getting paid to say that. I've learned that this thing, it has its quirks. Some of the arms are kind of loose compared to other ones being tight. One of them's almost 2 inches off compared to the other side, and it's 100% fabrication related. It's nothing to do with the mount. So, and this required a lot of concrete. I have almost 6,000 pounds of concrete keyholed underneath this floor. If you look at that square is probably, there's probably concrete out to here on each side. And then it's rebarred in. I went down 3 feet on each side. There's a lot of concrete under there. And it's about 3,000 pounds per side. I did that on purpose. That way I can trust in what I'm putting on these things. It goes well beyond what they're required. They're only required, I think, 4.5 inches on this one. But do your research. If you're in the market for a lift and you have a very tight space like the carport next door or like this shop, then it's something you got to consider. Now, Dalton with Pole Barn Garage. I say this because I consider myself a friend of Dalton. His shop is as small as mine. Looks can be deceiving, but his shop is small. It's close to my carport size over here in that one bay he uses a lot. And I love that shop. It reminds me of mine. It's small, it gets the job done. You get out there and hustle. You can't leave your projects sitting. You got to get them in and out. So there's pros and cons, but I will say this. I got to lay some tape in here just to see, because there is the option. Let's say I want to put a 4-post in here and move this 2-post outside. I'd have to play around with some concrete out there because that slab's only like 4 inches and it has imperfections. But if I did that, technically speaking, I could still do it, but when it's in the air, it's going to take up a little more room. So does that make sense in here? Probably not. Does it make sense out there in that beautiful clean bay that I can just move projects in and out and hustle them? Yeah, because I do a lot of work in that bay. And if you go back and check out my old videos, I've had dozens and dozens of vehicles in that bay working them. So, and also a 4-post is really good for detailing because you can get around the side of a car without having a post in the way. So I highly recommend a 4-post for a beginner, someone that has never worked with one. But most people have worked at auto places, whether it be grocery stores that have auto service centers and a big blue label, or whether it be the local little oil change place. They've used a lift a time or two. But that's just my experience. When you're putting your own pocketbook in it, things get serious. So when you're out here in the shop by yourself and you make mistakes on a 2-post lift, they can really harm you. So just keep that in mind. And another thing, I like the idea of storage out here. I can fit 2 cars out here right now. And I like to imagine, let's take a look, that I keep them inside past this. So if I ever put doors on it, I know they'll fit. But if you have a project you're working on a 2-post and you want to store it, that's cool. Most 2-posts, it's kind of sketchy, just being honest, to store something on it, park under it. If you have a 4-post, throw them up in the air. A lot of them are designed for long-term storage. Long-term storage, I really messed that up. So that's something to consider. Like, for example, I could put that F100 out here, work on it, get some wrenching done, cut some videos, and then park the Jeep underneath it, park my Honda underneath it, and go to work for the few days. Come back, pull your car out, walk right back under and get back to work. There's a lot of good pros to that. So, and again, look at the concrete. All concrete cracks, but this concrete is no more than 4 inches, and I don't know the history of the concrete. I don't know the spec of it. I don't know that stuff. I didn't build this house, but yeah, just something to consider. 4-post, guaranteed. 2-posts, guaranteed a lot of work, and they both serve a great purpose. So I'm gonna look at these measurements. We're gonna lay some down in the shop just for comparison, and we'll go from there. Stand by with me, let's get this done. I'm gonna go with the largest just to cover my tail. We're looking at 121 by 203. And then, you can add 234 if you wanna include your ramps, which I have plenty of room out there, so no problem. I'm gonna have to offset it towards this end of the shop compared to out there, how it was closer on the far end. All right, if I go to a 4-post, kind of offset it to give me the same amount of walking room I have currently over here. Let's just imagine a post. And then your ramps are gonna be, give or take, around here. So they could be inward. You're gonna have a large amount of room over here. This whole side's getting cleaned out, and I'm getting rid of that cabinet today. But I brought it back over. There's plenty of room. There's almost, I think it's almost 5 feet over here of walking room, maybe 4 feet. Not too bad. This is a 18 by 30 in here. So if I set it the way I have it laid out now, you got plenty of walk room over here. Like I said, this stuff's getting moved, and all my main hardware stuff's going over here with a couple engines. But the outer bay, I love the outer bay. I like this 100% better, and that would be fantastic. You imagine working on a car, lifting it up, and still be able to park under there. Really cool. So plenty of room here. I'd probably scooch it back and give it, I'd say, another 2 foot. That way I have another little bit here, but I could go a lot and have, gosh, I could have plenty of room. If I put it in the center, then I'd probably have, oh gosh, 6 feet that way, probably 8 feet this way, give or take. That's pretty impressive. So I got to do some big suspension work on this truck. I'd like to do more on the Jeep. The F100 is going to have some major work, and it's probably going to be right here in this bay. And I have some paint jobs to do, so it'd be a good spot to paint. If you like this side, comment, let me know. If you like a 4-post in that side, let me know. I think I prefer it out here. That's just me. This is a different video this week. You got 3 videos out of me this week, so bear with me. I got to keep the hustle going. Well, boys and girls of the YouTube world, I have officially gotten a P.O. box application. Had some people asking. I went here to the post office, and it's President's Day. I didn't have a clue. So that's news to me. I had no idea it was President's Day. My bad. But I'm gonna work on that. Once I get this P.O. box, people can start sending me stuff. The only reason I'm doing this is people have requested it. I have had numerous emails, people asking me if they can have somewhere to mail And I've sent my address out to a few people, made some mistakes there. I got some stamps, some freedom stamps, and we've got some stickers that are going out. Trying to send out these batches for free. So yeah, we'll go from there. I'll keep you guys in the update. This is not a typical video, but this is what I'm doing. So yeah, there you go.